It usually starts the same way. A video appears in your feed. The title reads something like, "How I Made $100,000 in 7 Days." And there's a thumbnail featuring a hoodie-clad 22-year-old leaning on a Lamborghini with a striped dashboard floating in the corner.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills.
You know it's too good to be true, but you click anyway, just to see what the catch is. And what follows is a perfectly orchestrated performance.
So there's another McLaren 765. They took my GT4 RS and they didn't know I had two. So there's another GT4 RS.
Palm trees in the background, ambient lo-fi playing softly, a modest smile hiding under designer sunglasses. You're told this lifestyle is possible, and more importantly, that it's repeatable.
Iman's got a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Range Rover, a G-Wagon.
And for a moment, just a split second, you believe it might be. That success could be this simple, that passive income was real, that you were only one course, one shift, one decision away from it all. But the twist is, you weren't the viewer. You were the product. See, what you're watching isn't a lesson, it's a funnel. And the person you're watching, they're not teaching, they're performing. Because in the creator economy, especially on YouTube, it's not what you've built that matters. It's what you can make people believe you've built. That Stripe screenshot you saw, it might be from one lucky month 2 years ago. The car, rented by the hour. The apartment, a staging ground, curated for thumbnails and credibility. But those things don't need to be real. They just need to feel real, long enough to hold your attention and lower your skepticism. Because this isn't really about entrepreneurship, it's about the aesthetic of success. They're not selling their business. They're selling the version of themselves that looks successful. And if they can convince you they've escaped the 9 to 5, live wherever they want, and make money in their sleep, then they've earned your trust, which means they've earned your click, and soon, your credit card. This model has created a new class of creators, not builders, but marketers, people who didn't get rich doing the thing, but got rich convincing you they did. Take Biaheza for example. He burst onto the scene as a teenage dropshipping prodigy. Videos like, "Watch me make $1,000 in 1 day" exploded.
Next 24 hours, I'm gonna attempt to start $1 million business from this bedroom.
Not because people wanted to watch him work, but because they wanted to believe they could do the same. But the real money wasn't coming from the Shopify store. It was coming from the views, the ad revenue, the affiliate links, and the course he eventually launched. His business wasn't e-commerce, it was potential, specifically the potential you projected onto him. Then there's Iman Gadji, the SMMA guru whose videos look like they were filmed inside a luxury cult retreat. He doesn't just talk marketing, he sells freedom. No boss, no office, just you, a laptop, and the promise of a 7-figure lifestyle.
You need to be extroverted to be successful. I'm just saying, build up that muscle, and it truly is a muscle of being able to interact with other people.
He wears confidence like a badge, speaks in absolutes, and adds just enough matrix rhetoric to make it feel profound. But look closely, and the message starts to unravel. The money doesn't come from running agencies. It comes from selling programs that teach you how to start agencies. The freedom he's selling? It doesn't come from client work. It comes from the funnel. And then, of course, there's Andrew Tate. The name alone conjures up Bugattis, cigars, shirtless rants, and an army of fans calling themselves top Gs.
What I'm saying is some of the most beautiful works of art, some of the most gorgeous cathedrals, some of the most beautiful churches you'll ever lay your eyes on were done because a man felt proud of his work.
But behind the bluster was one of the most profitable systems ever gamified on YouTube. Hustlers University wasn't a course. It was a multi-level affiliate marketing loop. Students were taught how to promote the course itself and got paid when others signed up. Wash, rinse, repeat. A digital pyramid built on hyper-masculine motivational speeches.
I've always been rich, but I'm not just rich because of money. You have to understand, I'm rich because of a bunch of things that money cannot buy.
It wasn't about escaping the matrix, it was about growing the funnel. And then you've got Ryan Hildreth. He made a name off videos titled $250 a day doing nothing. He'd sit casually in a chair, talk for a few minutes, and flash some Stripe numbers on the screen. Only those screenshots, some were found on stock photo websites. This wasn't education, it was fantasy.
It's a very interesting story because he started with us a little over 1.5 years ago, and now his main channel, because he has multiple, his main channel has generated over $150,000, which is absolutely crazy.
A lifestyle trailer for a movie that doesn't actually exist. And every time someone commented, "This inspired me," the system proved it was working. To be fair, not every YouTuber is faking it. Graham Stephan, for instance, built his brand on transparency. He's not waving Lamborghinis at the screen. He's walking you through spreadsheets. Every dollar is tracked, every revenue stream broken down. Ali Abdaal does something similar. He documents his process like a case study, organized, thorough, and almost clinical in detail. No yelling, no red arrows, no fake urgency. They're not trying to get you into a funnel. They're just showing you what they did.
Only half of you would feel financially free if you had 100 million in the bank. Okay, you guys have expensive lives.
Calmly, clearly, and without theatrics. But belief doesn't just come from a well-lit YouTube video and a confident voice. It's manufactured, strategically, professionally, and often artificially. Because behind many of these creators is a credibility machine designed to make them look successful long before they actually are. Let's start with the press. Ever seen a YouTuber flash as featured in Forbes, Yahoo Finance, Entrepreneur? Seems impressive, right? Here's the reality. You can buy most of those placements. There are entire agencies and Fiverr gigs dedicated to ghostwriting glowing press releases, then syndicating them on sites that sound like news outlets. Pay a few $100s, and suddenly you're a top 10 entrepreneur to watch, quoted in publications you've never spoken to. No interviews, no editors, just money. And once that manufactured credibility is published, it gets recycled into thumbnails, email funnels, and Instagram bios. Now they're not just selling success, they're selling the illusion of validation. But it goes deeper. Most of these creators don't write their own copy. They're backed by performance marketing agencies that specialize in psychological persuasion. They A/B test headlines, fine-tune sales pages, and build landing pages designed to push your emotional buttons. So when you see a webinar that feels weirdly convincing, or a checkout page that just happens to answer every objection you had, that's not a coincidence. It's conversion science. What looks like a self-made success story is often the result of an entire back-end team engineering belief. And when the funnel is this optimized, the truth doesn't matter as much as the perception. Because once you believe they're credible, you stop asking questions. And that's when the sale happens. But for every creator like that, there are 20 whose strategy is built entirely on the illusion of passive success. Once you've seen it enough times, the pattern becomes obvious. The passive income playbook is the same across almost every channel. It begins with the signal, a car, a condo, or a credit card limit big enough to impress strangers. These are visual shortcuts for, "I've made it." Then comes the credibility theater. Buzzwords like seven-figure earner, serial entrepreneur, or investor. There's rarely any proof, just a hoodie, a ring light, and a vaguely inspirational backstory. Then they introduce the system, dropshipping, print on demand, Amazon FBA. The business model changes, but the delivery doesn't. You're not buying a guide to wealth, you're buying a role in their funnel. And here's the kicker. The most powerful part of the funnel isn't the pitch. It's the illusion that you figured it out on your own. They don't have to sell hard, they just plant the seed. Drop a hint, show a result, act like they don't care if you sign up. And suddenly, you feel smart for chasing the shortcut. But really? You've been nudged into a $997 upsell dressed as a free value video. It's passive income, for them. You take the risk. They collect the Stripe payouts. So the question becomes, if the model is so transparent, why does it keep working? Why do these videos still get millions of views? Why do people still buy in, even when they know, deep down, it's probably too good to be true? Because these videos aren't selling information. They're selling identity. They target your soft spots, your frustration with your job, your fear of missing out, your quiet anxiety that everyone else figured it out but you. It's not a coincidence that the examples always hit close to home. Here's how I made $25,000 a month as a college dropout. Quit your 9-to-5 and work from your laptop. Single mom makes $500 a day from home. They don't need to explain how it works. They just need to show that it worked for someone like you. And the moment that emotional connection lands, your guard drops. And your skepticism goes quiet. Because now you're not just watching, you're wondering what if. And the algorithm? It doesn't reward accuracy. It rewards attention. It doesn't matter if the method is outdated, saturated, or built on sand. If people keep watching, it keeps spreading. And as it spreads, it begins to look credible. Because in the world of online influence, views become validation. Validation becomes trust, and trust becomes revenue. 1 million views doesn't mean it's true. It just means it's working. And that brings us to the real game. The one most viewers never see. These creators aren't necessarily lying about the money. They may have had a great month, they might have stumbled on a short-term win, or maybe they did build a real hustle once. But eventually, they realized something important. Teaching the hustle was far more profitable than doing it. So they recorded a breakdown, edited out the boring parts, compressed the timeline, threw it into a funnel, and just like that, their income became passive. Not from the hustle itself, but from the story about the hustle. They didn't fake the money, they faked the method. And while some of them may be wealthy now, it's not because they flipped products or coded apps or managed client work. It's because they flipped your attention into their paycheck. You thought you were buying a shortcut to success, but what you were really buying was a ticket to a very expensive stage show. The screenshots, curated, the testimonials, filtered, the narrative, optimized for clicks. It's not a scam in the legal sense. It's far more clever than that. It's performance art. And you're not just the audience. You're the customer, paying for a backstage pass that leads nowhere. If this video helped you see things a little clearer, helped you understand the game behind the content, then stick around. This channel isn't here to sell you the dream. It's here to help you recognize when you're being sold one. So if you want to stay one step ahead, hit subscribe. It's free, it's honest, and it's the kind of content that doesn't waste your time.